Hi, I'm Jill Lally, and I'd like to welcome you to the Natural Way to Better Health and Wellness. We have as our esteemed guest Dr. Donald DeFabio, sports chiropractic physician extraordinaire, who is continuing our series on the secrets of healthy aging. Welcome, Dr. DeFabio. Can you give our viewers some background in your numerous credentials?
I'm board certified in chiropractic orthopedics and sports injury management. I'm licensed in the state of New Jersey. I hold numerous certifications in chiropractic techniques, active release technique, GRAST and a physical therapy technique, as well as being certified in manipulation under anesthesia. And I've been in practice 30 years and I love what I do. And I love my wife too.
Thank you, Doctor. In the Secrets of Healthy Aging, Part 1, you discussed what is healthy aging.
Yeah, well, and that's really important fact we want to get across. It's all about growing old gracefully or embracing the aging process, avoiding what I call the disability zone. You know, the average American is disabled in one way or another the last 12 years of their life. We want to minimize that and pretty much keep going and going and going until we can't go anymore, kind of the crash and burn concept when it comes to aging.
You had talked about the biomarkers of aging.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the last show, since we were talking about growing old gracefully and aging and maintaining your activity, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, whatever, we realized that there's a way to gauge how fast you're aging. We can measure that today. We can measure things like what's happening with your cholesterol level. What's happening with your body mass? Are you gaining muscle? Are you losing muscle? What's happening with your blood sugar metabolism? What's happening with all these different biomarkers of aging? Your metabolism, it has a tendency to slow down. So they can all be measured, and they're called biomarkers. Once you can measure something, then you can track its performance. And that's what this is all about. We measure the biomarkers, and then we can track their performance.
That's great. And some of those levels were impacted by exercise, diet, nutritional supplements.
Well, in fact, Jill, just about every biomarker of aging can be directly impacted by exercise, by diet, and by nutritional supplements. So all the things that cause our bodies to slow down and perform less than the way they used to when we were younger can all be manipulated, adjusted, modified in one way or another with those three simple, natural, and safe interventions. The last show, well, it was all about exercise.
Right.
I mean, because there's so much about it, we talked about that. And let's face it, if you're not physically active, if you can't maintain your physical activity, that's a huge player in being active as an older adult.
I remember you discussed cardio and resistance training and flexibility as the three areas to balance that.
Exactly, and exercise gets broken down into that subdivision. You have cardiovascular exercise, you have resistance training, and you have flexibility training. Again, to recap, cardiovascular exercise is getting your blood going, getting your heart rate up a little bit, breathing a little bit more. Why? It's the number one way to reduce your risk for cardiovascular disease, which is the leading killer in America. You know, 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week is minimum, but let's face it, we need to shoot for 120 minutes of cardiovascular activity where you're at a moderate pace, conversational pace, where you can hold on a conversation or slightly above for 120 minutes a week. That's really where you need to be. That's going to significantly enable your body to maintain its weight. It's going to keep your weight down. It's going to help you maintain better blood sugar levels. When you exercise, it improves the ability of the body to utilize insulin better. It's going to help you get better circulation, less atherosclerosis, keeps your good cholesterol up, keeps your bad cholesterol down, helps you maintain temperature regulation. You notice how some people always need the house hotter and hotter? Other people need the house colder and colder. A problem with temperature regulation. Those are all biomarkers of aging, so cardio is king in helping many of them. Resistance exercise, That's really important because you need to have strength. I can't open jars anymore, right? People come in the office all the time. Geez, I'm having trouble getting off the chair, and I didn't do anything. I can't get out of the chair. It isn't what happened yesterday. It's for the last 20 years, you haven't been keeping your legs strong. And the process is called sarcopenia. We naturally lose muscle as we age. You can prevent that with resistance training. And resistance training keeps your bones healthy, preventing osteoporosis. So resistance training is really important. And we talked about it on the last show. Research has shown men who do resistance training live longer. And it helps with testosterone levels. And of course, flexibility. Well, you mentioned that, you know. Some people are Gumbies, some people aren't.
Right.
You need to have a balance of cardiovascular strength, but also flexibility. If I'm strong and I can run and I got a good heart, but I don't have mobility, I'm not going to be active either. So you need to have them all.
So it's the balance of doing that.
Exactly. Life is about a balance. It's about everything. Got to balance it. And that's where your doc comes in. Your doc comes in and balances that, tells you need more cardio, or you need more flexibility, or you need more strength.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to take a short break, and when we return, it's all about eating right for every age. And I'm Jill Lally, and we'll be right back with Dr. Donald DeFabio on the natural way to better health and wellness.
Hi, I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio, and today I want to talk to you about sleep, because sleep is essential to help maintain and regain your health. Poor sleep quality is directly related to lots of diseases, things like high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, and even weight gain. The inability to lose weight have been related to poor sleep quality. Most sleep disturbances are related to one or two things: maintenance insomnia, inability to stay asleep, or intentional insomnia, inability to fall asleep. Some people do have true sleep apnea, and we can test for that as well. But the bottom line is, if you have inability to fall asleep or stay asleep, let's figure out why. Let's test your biochemistry. I do that in my office with a very simple test. We send you home with this kit, saliva and a urine sample, and it comes back and it tells us what your biochemistry is when you can't sleep. Based on those biochemical results, then we give you natural supplements to help improve sleep. Amino acids, vitamins, minerals, and herbs that are safe, that'll either help you get to sleep, if that's the problem, or help you stay asleep, if that's the problem. It works very well. If we have to, I can even prescribe a home sleep study to see if you really do have sleep apnea, and then if you do, you got to go over and see the sleep doctor at the sleep center. Sleep is important, and getting the appropriate high-quality sleep is essential to maintain and regain your health. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're up right now, give me a call. Come in for a neuroscience sleep test. Let's figure out where your biochemistry is imbalanced and treat it naturally and safely. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio.
Welcome back to part 2 in our series on healthy aging and how foods control our aging process. Dr. DeFabio, you're a chiropractic doctor, and can you tell me how does chiropractic relate to the healthy aging process?
That's a really good question, Jill. You know, as a chiropractic doctor, I deal with drugless healthcare. So I'm all about how to improve your health, restore your health, and maintain your health without medication, drugs, or surgery. Of course, if you need it, I'll make sure I make that recommendation. But if people are looking for a natural, holistic, whole-body approach to restoring, regaining, or maintaining their health, I'm your man. So when it comes to the aging process, remember what we talked about in the first part was lifestyle change. And chiropractic is all about lifestyle change. So we take some lifestyle changes. Jill, I want you to do 30 minutes of cardio 3 days a week. Jill, you need to go to the gym and do resistance training for your upper back and legs, every day. Or you need to take yoga, whatever it is. Oh, here are some stretches I want you to do. Well, those are lifestyle choices, which I'm all about as a chiropractic doctor. But on top of that, the chiropractic intervention or the chiropractic adjustment restores joint mobility. So if you don't have motion in your joints, you're not going to be able to do all those exercises, and you're going to have pain. And if the joints of your spine are tight and stiff, well, then it creates pressure on your spinal nerves, which then impact the rest of your body. Every nerve in your body comes out of your spine, except for the 12 that go from your eyes and your ears and your nose and your mouth right out to those organs. Every other nerve in your body comes out of your spine. Dysfunction, tightness, imbalance, whatever you want to call it, of the spine impacts those nerves and affects where they go. But I'm a sports doc, so I treat wrists, ankles, knees, and shoulders. They have to be freely movable too. So when it comes to maintaining activity and doing those exercises to decrease or balance those biomarkers of aging, that's where chiropractic fits in, and that's how it's, for me, a natural fit. To use a pun.
So my exercises will be that much better. My performance will be enhanced with having chiropractic mobility as well as corrective exercises.
Oh, of course. In fact, research has shown athletes at the non-elite level have 17% better performance if they utilize chiropractic. At the elite level, it's 3% performance enhancement with chiropractic. Helps balance, helps coordination, helps mobility. It's great.
So even the weekend warriors have a chance,
Yeah,
right?
there's hope for them too. Yep, there's hope for them too.
However, you know, this show is about how foods control our age and the foods we eat in the diet. So can you just tell us what we should eat to achieve a healthy aging?
You know, the simplest answer, unfortunately, is one of the more difficult ones. It's eat less. Research has shown a hypocaloric, nutrient-dense diet, you will live longer. Research has shown a hypocaloric, nutrient-dense diet, you will live longer. That means eat less and make sure you're getting enough nutrients.
Yeah, but people are passionate about food.
Like I said, that's the toughest one.
Do you live to eat or do you eat to live?
So we can eat tasty foods, we can eat healthy foods that'll sustain us and satisfy us. And the first thing we have to look at is balancing what's called glycemic index and glycemic load. That's really the first thing we have to look at.
So there are two different considerations?
Exactly. Glycemic index happens when your blood sugar goes up. Now, every food, everything we eat, your glycemic index is how fast your blood sugar goes up after you eat something. Okay. Glycemic load is how long it stays up, all right?
Okay.
So it always goes up after you eat, but how long it stays up and how fast it stays up determines how much inflammation it creates. Because every time you have a spike in your blood pressure, it creates inflammation in your body. And that inflammation then causes proteins, even though they might be good proteins, to change. They become glycosylated, or AGE it's called, okay? Glycosylated end products. That deteriorates the proteins, they start to do things they aren't supposed to, and it creates disease.
Well, I remember you had mentioned inflammation in part one of our series and how that would be a factor in...
It's a huge player. It's a huge player. Anything that's got an osis or an itis in it means inflammation. Arthrosclerosis, hardening of the arteries. Neuritis, nerve inflammation. Discitis, disc inflammation. Cholecystitis, gallbladder inflammation. Diverticulitis, diverticulosis. Those are all inflammatory reactions directly related to what we eat.
So you can have a disease process from your diet.
Definitely. And again, by keeping the blood, that's not sugar, that's not the right word. By keeping the spikes in your blood sugar lower, you'll be less apt for that. That's one way to reduce inflammation. The next way you can keep inflammation down is with balancing your omega-3 and your omega-6 fatty acids. So if we keep the inflammation down, and by the way, those advanced glycolated end products, I'd like to ask the viewers to Google RAGE and brain health related to Alzheimer's. So keeping the blood sugar down will help reduce your risk for Alzheimer's. But anyway, the balance between omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids is essential. Omega-3 fatty acids are found in green things, algae, plankton, vegetation, and they suppress the inflammatory response in your body. Omega-6 fatty acids are found in grains and in meats and in animals that eat grains. They drive inflammation in your body. So you need to suppress the amount of omega-6s in your body that you consume from grains and grain-fed meats and increase the amount of omega-3 fatty acids that you consume from vegetation and from plants that eat vegetation. In fact, omega-3 fatty acids your body can synthesize, and they're called essential fatty acids because they're essential to health. And not just one cell, to every cell in your body they're essential for. So balancing that omega-6 and omega-3 ratio is very important. Now, why is that so important for most Americans? Well, considering that non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medication, Advil, Aleve, Celebrex, ibuprofen, are one of the most commonly prescribed medications and purchased over the counter today, well, think about it. We have a grain-based diet. The foundation of the food pyramid in America is grains.
Yeah.
It drives inflammation. Now catch this, Jill. You eat grains, you drive inflammation, then you eat sugar, all right? You got bad fats, omega-6s, then you got sugar over here because we're consuming too much sugar, and it makes inflammation and it drives those activated gluconated end products, AGE, creates disease. So we need to suppress inflammation, and we can suppress it by watching what we eat. Better food choices.
Well, it doesn't look like there's left much for us to eat. It's a wonder why our diets are so poor in America.
Oh, come on. There's a lot of good stuff. And you can maintain all those tasty foods and, you know, you can satisfy yourself. You really can with the right choices. So let's look at what you can eat rather than what you can't eat. I think that's a better way of approaching it.
All right. So let's take a break. And when we come back, give our viewers the details on choosing the right foods for them to eat. I'm Jill Lally, and we'll be right back with the natural way to better health and wellness, secrets of healthy aging.
Today's exercise tip is core ball exercises or physio ball exercises to strengthen the core while you're sitting. This is important for people who sit a majority of the day. When you exercise, if you're standing up and you're doing weight-bearing exercises, it'll help you. It's excellent, but it may not train those muscles you need when you're sitting. The ball is perfect for that. Let's get started. The first thing you want to do is get a ball of the right height. When you're sitting on your exercise ball, your knees and hips need to be at 90 degrees or above. You do not want to be below 90 degrees because then it causes your low back to round and that'll injure your back and you'll end up seeing me for something else. So, knees and hips at 90 degrees or slightly above. Sit on the center of the ball, chest up, arms open. We want good posture. When we sit, we do this. If you exercise like this, you will stay like this. When we exercise like this, you will stay like this. So, good posture, chest up, ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. You can just bounce now on the ball. Just bounce and have some fun. Guess what? Can you do this when you're watching my show on TV? Yes, you can. Can you do this while you're doing other things? Yes. But the bottom line is get on the ball. First exercise, bounce for 1 minute. Second exercise, circles. Nice and big. I'm going counterclockwise right now. I would do that also for 1 minute. Then go clockwise for a minute. It's good for posture, but it also is multiplanar. It's real life activities. How often in life do we just do this? Very rarely. Yet we go to the gym and we do this to strengthen our core. It's not going to help you when you bend and reach. The ball is going to help you when you bend and reach, because it's multiplanar. Minute clockwise, a minute counterclockwise, come back to neutral and bounce. You can't go wrong with bouncing. What this does is it brings fluid into the discs. So it's actually very good for disc problems. Lastly, second to last, let's go to sideways. Chest up, arms up, and go back and forth. Really let those hips rock. Really let those hips rock. And this gets into those side muscles, all right? Now, as you do your exercises, check with your doctor. Make sure you're not doing anything that's going to injure you and you're capable of doing these things, because they can be very effective. The final exercise is front to back, pelvic tilts. And this gets those lower abdominals and helps open up the spacing in the lower back. Again, being careful to be comfortable. And it's like cleansing the palate. You can always finish off with some little jumping. Great for when you're watching TV, perfect for when you're sitting down anytime, but more importantly, you do this 5 minutes once or twice a day at home, it'll insulate you from the problems of this at the office. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio, and I want you to get on the ball to strengthen your core and to improve your resiliency for sitting all day at work. Have a great day.
Welcome back to the Natural Way to Better Health and Wellness. Dr. DeFabio, you have given us so much information. How may the viewers get in touch with you if they'd like to know anything more?
Yeah, I'm located in Berkeley Heights, and they can call my office directly, 908-771-0220. Website, they can contact us through my website, DeFabioChiropractic.com. Anything I can do, just reach out. Be happy to answer their questions.
Okay. Doctor, you promised you'd give us some choices on tasty foods that can satisfy and control our appetite and hunger. So let's start with breakfast.
Oh, breakfast, how about eggs? Start off with eggs, but they need to be omega-3 eggs, okay? Again, omega-3 fatty acids suppress inflammation. You can get them from your food. Eggland's Best Eggs. Omega-3, free-range eggs, omega-3 eggs. Now, if you don't like eggs, well, what about a protein smoothie, okay? You can take some fresh berries, put them in a blender or one of those NutriBullet things, and a couple of scoops of protein powder. I prefer a coconut milk or a flax or an almond milk because cow's milk a lot of people are sensitive to, and it creates a lot of mucus congestion, so it's a hypoallergenic type of formulation. Put in some chia seeds, high in omega-3. Put in some hemp hearts, high in omega-3. But the point is having some protein. You need to have protein in the morning to stabilize your blood sugar. You have sugar in the morning, your blood sugar spikes up, and then all day long you're chasing that blood sugar spike. So those are a couple of really good examples. A protein shake with some fresh berries and a couple of eggs.
So you and your children would eat a breakfast like that?
I made my daughter this morning a high-protein pancake. How's that? You know, the bodybuilding industry's got it wired. The bodybuilding industry 25, 30 years ago when my brother was in it, the supplements tasted like cardboard. It was terrible. But now they can get really tasty foods that have nutrients, vitamins, high in protein, and low in that glycemic index and glycemic load. I made her a bodybuilder's protein pancake, and she loved it.
Well, you know, for a snack mid-morning, I had a bran muffin.
Okay.
But I also had coffee
Okay.
with that. Is that okay?
Well, you know, fiber's excellent, Jill. You need a lot of fiber because that also keeps the glycemic index down. But it's grains. You know, there aren't too many constipated bears, and they don't eat bread. So you don't need to eat bran, right, to get fiber. So coffee's not an issue, though.
Okay.
Coffee is anti-inflammatory in nature. That's not a problem.
Okay.
The problem with coffee is the caramel macchiato pumpkin spice.
Okay.
That's where your fat is, and that's where your sugar is. Fat, omega-6 fats, bad fat, sugars come together. They denature, they activate, glycolate those proteins, and then it creates disease.
Wow.
So coffee's okay. Milk, cow's milk, condiment-sized portions is okay. If it's white, don't drink, don't eat it. White sugar's bad, okay? And if you gotta have a muffin, go to like a coconut flour muffin or something like that.
All right. Are there any lunch options?
Lunch is easy. Lunch is a no-brainer. You know, salad and meat. Salad and salmon, salad and grilled chicken, grilled vegetables and salad. The key with your salad is at least 3 colors, all right? Get 3 different colors in your salad and some sort of protein, okay? And that's an easy one. That's kind of a no-brainer. Be grilled chicken, salmon, turkey. Now, beef. Beef isn't bad, but grain-fed meat is. So you need to get grass-fed beef. And you can get it locally at the stores here. You don't have to go to a specialty store for it. And you can get organic grass-fed if you want. But you can get conventional grass-fed beef locally as well. So that's easy. Lunch is kind of easy.
So if I made for dinner gluten-free pasta and a side salad and fruit, would that be okay?
Not really for inflammation.
No.
There's a huge misconception that gluten-free is anti-inflammatory and healthy. Now, if you have gluten sensitivity, yes, it's healthy for you.
Okay.
But the substitutes for gluten are still very high glycemic foods.
Right.
Potato starch flour, tapioca starch flour, they're still very high glycemic index. Even garbanzo bean flour has a high glycemic index. So you're not saving that spike in your blood sugar with gluten-free, all right? If you're sensitive to gluten, yes, stay away from it. But if not, gluten-free pasta is not the answer. Salad should not be a side salad. It should be the main part of your dish.
Okay.
Okay? And then sugar and fruit for most people is okay.
Yeah.
But you don't want it. You had no protein in that meal.
Right.
Remember? You got to balance that sugar spike with fiber and with protein, all right, and your high quality fats. So, fruit, you can drizzle on some strawberries or some berries, which is a low glycemic fruit, some heavy cream, organic grass-fed heavy cream, and some chocolate shavings. How's that? Chocolate's anti-inflammatory.
Okay.
Chocolate's not the problem. It's the milk and the sugar they put in the chocolate. So go with dark chocolate, 72, 80% cacao chocolate. A little bit of that, that's okay.
Okay, so carbohydrates, proteins, and fats.
Yes, what about them?
Well, it's just, you want to try to balance them
All three.
in your
Yeah,
diet.
right.
And how do you know to do that?
Well, that's where your doctor comes in, but for our viewers, I would like to give them 3 simple things to do, Jill.
Okay.
How's this for the
Okay.
viewers? Number 1, eat 5 to 7 servings of fresh vegetables with some fruit every day. No more than 4 servings of fruits, okay? Number 2, if you're going to have something that's high in sweet or glycemic index, taper it with some fiber, all right? Some asparagus, some kale, some spinach, or even a fiber supplement if you have to kind of balance the sugar, okay? Mm-hmm. And number 3, eat protein during the day that's high quality and will help maintain your sugar levels. Those are 3 good places to start. Of course, low grains, low to minimal grains. It really is that simple. And there's lots of good choices. We have a great recipe book. If somebody wants to ask for it, it's part of a purification program, but we can email them a PDF. Just email me at the office, DeFabioChiropractic.com, and ask for the purification cookbook. We'll send you the PDF. Got a lot of great recipes that'll help people get started on this.
So then, it's something that you could cook at home, you could versus going out, or holidays, entertaining, going out. We can do all of this.
It's just about changing your food palette a little bit. There's a lot of great recipes you can eat and have that are just different. It's tough when you take your mother's lasagna and you try to make it anti-inflammatory, make it taste the same. That's a challenge. But instead of having mama's lasagna, you have some salmon livornaise with a side of quinoa with capers, as opposed to on a bed of pasta. You go, hey, wow, this tastes different, but it's good. So you're looking for that new flavor palette to substitute so you don't default to the same pro-inflammatory
So
foods.
it's tasty and it's good for you.
You got it.
Thank you, Dr. Donald DeFabio. I'm Jill Lally, and we are here with The Natural Way to Better Health and Wellness, The Secrets of Healthy Aging, Part 2 on diet and healthy eating.